Now recording.
Hello, and welcome back to the Block Update podcast.
But
Slack.
Foxy, that up there still says Minecraft Update podcast.
Well, I've been busy.
Oh, you've been busy. Okay, I guess we can let that go this week. I mean,
If
it's
you
fine.
listen to the bonus show, you would know how busy I am, Slack. As we've just discovered, I've been very busy.
And how do they get access to the bonus show?
Well, it's funny you should ask that, because this, the Block Update, whatever we're called, podcast, is now supported by Patreon. And we currently have 35 amazing patrons. And you can join Patreon too by going to patreon.com/the Minecraft Update and join in. At any level, we'll give you access to our Patreon-only feed for the bonus show content like we just recorded, access to our Patreon-only Discord channels, and a Discord role too, which is fantastic. Why would you not do it? That's what I want to do.
I mean, and then you get to experience the technical follies and goof-ups that happen when we're recording the bonus show, and we have to switch channels and reset everything up. It makes things interesting, doesn't it?
To be fair, anyone can do that. I mean, you don't need to be a patron to watch the live show. And we do record the podcast live.
Oh, well, they get access to the bonus show then.
Yeah, they can listen to it at a time that's more convenient for them, the patrons.
I get what you're doing there. I get it. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
It's slick.
Right, before we start, big apologies for not doing a podcast for the last couple of weeks. As I explained in the bonus show, I'll explain again. Last week was 100% not really my fault, but my fault, because literally as we were about to hit the record button, we were both sat here with our webcams on, ready to go live, and I got a phone call, and it was emergency. So I had to dash off very quickly, drive a long way away, and I wasn't home until 4 o'clock in the morning. And as much as I would like to think that things are back on track and we will be doing weekly podcasts from now on, Slack is just about to have a baby. It's due today. So they could be dashing off mid-podcast. You never know. And I've still got a lot of IRL things to sort out over the next few weeks and probably months. So if we miss a podcast here and there, we do apologize. But I just want to say, in terms of Patreon, that is exactly why we chose to do it per podcast. You won't get charged if we miss a podcast. You only get charged for the podcasts we do. So you're not just giving us something and then we go, well, we're not doing it, guys. And,
No, I'm not doing it. No.
We do try and do this every single week. We do try. Yeah. But unfortunately, because we do have other priorities in terms of like real life stuff, and you know, we've got other priorities with content as well. The podcast is often the first thing to go. Unfortunately, it's never intended, but it always seems to be last minute. Like the last two times we've cancelled on the day. So I'm sorry. It's all I can say. We try it.
Yeah, the time before that, we were at the hospital. Out of nowhere. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That wasn't my fault or Slack or Jen's fault, but it's just one of those things.
Nature of it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, back to the podcast. We obviously start each podcast with feedback, and you can leave us feedback by going to the feedback form on the website, or emailing us at news@theminecraftupdate.com, or you can join the Discord and leave us feedback there. Just remember, folks, as well, before we go into the feedback, we are changing the name, the logo soon, and the title of the podcast to The Block Update. It will no longer be the Minecraft Update podcast for much longer. Right. Feedback, Slack. Are you ready?
Yeah, I was just glancing at that first one there.
Shadow of the Protogen says, Foxy, with all due respect, I will have to politely say, you're wrong! Jeez. Right, I know this shout. I made data packs that increase smelt times. For example, I made one where anything less than a bucket of lava as fuel when a charcoal has been put in the input slot won't result in anything but a waste of time. Although if done properly, bucket of lava or better will yield a diamond. Times can be adjusted to specific items, therefore you can make a recipe that when a block of raw iron, for example, is put in, the smelting time can vary based on the data given to the specific block. If you want, I can show you what I mean in the data pack I have made myself. Making them specific to a blast furnace or normal furnace is easy. Just a recipe specifically for that and nothing else. Shadow died because he waited too long for his diamonds in the furnace. Well, Clearly wrong.
I just want to point out the first thing there. Data pack. That's Java.
It is. Now,
that's not Bedrock.
So we're both technically right. I don't think it's possible to do in Bedrock Edition. I might be wrong. Maybe it is with an add-on. Who knows? The thing is, though, if it's not possible on Bedrock Edition, then they can't just roll it out across Minecraft without making serious changes to Minecraft itself. So if it is possible on Java Edition, great. And I'm sure, they could change it on Java Edition and not on Bedrock Edition, but then we'd all be really cross at them. So yeah.
I mean, they would mess something up in the name of parody.
Yeah. No, they wouldn't do. They would never.
Yeah.
Never, ever.
No. Purple Hoser's up next. As I say, Foxy, just heard your thoughts on Asus and MSI laptops and just wanted to say that I have had an Asus gaming laptop for 3 to 4 years, and I have played it a ton considering it's a laptop. I have only one issue with it because I accidentally sprayed silicone spray on it because it looked like
an air can.
An air can. Okay, all right. I'm not sure about MSI, but Asus is definitely a very decent brand that lasts a good while, at least for my model. One thing I would say is to change the BIOS settings to default. Asus likes to slap their name on everything, so BIOS is super confusing with it because it has custom logos and names and buttons.
I can't deny that MSI and Asus are incredibly good manufacturers. They're very good manufacturers of the things that they manufacture. What they do with like monitors and screens is they don't manufacture them. They put their name on it. And quite often when companies do that, they charge an excess price for something they didn't build in order to put their name on it so people buy it. So whilst I'm sure an MSI and an Asus laptop are absolutely wonderful, I'm not 100% sure they're actually manufacturing those laptops. Maybe they are, but I'd be more surprised. I'd be quite surprised at that. I'd be more inclined to say that they're buying OEM laptops and putting their labels on it, but I may well be wrong about that. Either way, yes, they're fantastically reputable brands, but I still I'd rather go with somebody that I knew was a reliable source of the machinery itself, that I knew was reliable, like Dell or Apple. Doesn't mean to say MSA and Asus are no good.
Yeah, we're all going to have our preference at the end of the day.
Yeah. Having had always had MSI and Asus motherboards in my PC, apart from my previous motherboard I had previously in my main PC, I've never had issues. So yes, I can thoroughly recommend them as good manufacturers. That said, their technical support is horrible. I had problems from day one with my last Asus motherboard, and they did nothing to help me no matter how hard I tried. For months and months and months, it was clearly broken. It was broken for the entire time I had it, and they refused to do anything about it. So while their stuff might be good, their technical support is awful. Whereas again, go to somebody like Dell or Apple, you're going to get a better level of service. Still not great, probably, but probably better. Yeah, in my experience.
Yeah, my first rebuilt computer was an Asus, but then after that, I used ATX. So, it's just what works for me.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Plod says, a couple of episodes ago, there was a discussion about whether it was possible to filter the marketplace to only show free items. And yes, it is. To do it, pop onto the marketplace, go to search, hit the filter funnel icon, choose Minecoins, and select free. Annoyingly, this works for Marketplace itself, but not for Character Creator Dressing Room. Well, there you go. Thank you for letting us know, Plod.
Thank you very much. Amenchu is up next, and in your last podcast, you neglected to mention the changes in 1.19.80, where they intentionally added Java Edition bugs to Bedrock. Was it building on the nether roof? No. Was it quasi-connectivity? No. Horses no longer fit in boats, and cows do not make feeding noises when you give them wheat. Thanks, Mojang. The bug no one wanted can now be enjoyed in both versions. I'm going to add to that, Manchu. They've also redone boats where if the entity is bigger, let's say a spider, it can no longer go into a boat, but you can put a turtle in a boat with a chest now. In the same changelog. In the same exact changelog, entities that are bigger than boats can no longer go into them, aka, like pandas or things like that. Literally the next line down, turtles can now be put in mine or boats with chests.
Turtle small.
No, it's not. No.
The turtle very small. It's very small.
See, that change worries me that they're eventually going to do that to minecarts, and that's just...
Does it? Can you put a baby cow in a boat? Or is it just all cows you can't put in boats anymore? Or whatever it was?
I don't know, but you can definitely put baby horses in. I don't know about anything else.
Because
it's one of the... it's weird.
I just wondered with the turtles, whether it's like, well, obviously you could fit a baby turtle in a chest boat, so they have to let turtles go in boats. I didn't know if it was just one of those things. But then if they can differentiate with the mobs, whether it's a baby or not, whether it can go in a boat, then I don't know. Because having seen the rideable components for like add-ons and things like that, it specifies what entity, but I don't know if it specifies like what entity components they have. So
it feels like some days in this game we take a step backwards in the name of parody.
Yeah. Yeah. This, I tell you what, the more I hear, the more it does frustrate me, this railroading that the developers seem to be doing to push us down a certain way to play the game. It genuinely feels like our freedoms in Minecraft have been stripped more and more and more as the game goes on. And unfortunately, and unfortunately, I guess, and you know, we've chosen to play Minecraft as our career, but I don't think I would play it for fun anymore if I was just playing Minecraft.
I haven't played Minecraft for fun in a long time. If I'm not recording or streaming, I don't even load the game.
No, I don't. But I just think if I wasn't a content creator and I just had it on my, list of games that I regularly play, I don't think I would. I think there's too many, it's too easy, so we're making it harder for you, changes.
It's like the amount of complaints on the Jira right now related to mobs in the Nether, okay? People are complaining there's too many mobs in the Nether. It's too difficult. Yet, a lot of these times, it's people complaining because they're in fortresses. And structure mobs work different than other mobs. And a lot of people are playing on Sim 4. The game actually gets easier, and you see less mobs on Sim 6 or higher.
Yeah,
and the amount of people and the amount of people switching to higher Sims is absolutely crazy. Half of my tutorials out there, well, all my tutorials are based on Sim 4. But here recently, it's just been a flood of, this doesn't work. This doesn't work. All right, join the Discord. Bring us your world. Let's see what's wrong. And so many times here lately, it's people playing on sim distances of 6, 8, or 12. Like, nobody's playing on 4 anymore.
No, well, I don't know if it's still default, but like I think even Realms allow a slightly bigger sim distance now, don't they? Or at least they were talking about it.
They were. I don't know if they do, but yeah.
I mean, I would always play on Sim 4 purely for the fact that it makes building your farms and things a lot easier, a lot less hassle in terms of dealing with like perimeters and things like that. From my perspective, I know you can have bigger farms if you work on Sim 6 or higher, but I like the fact that Sim 4 has everything more contained around the player, personally.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's just the name of parody it just annoys me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, DJ Chris says, I've been messing with the new camera command and I recreated Terraria in Minecraft without mods, finally. Oh, good job, DJ Chris. Thanks for the feedback. That's really useful feedback on the show.
Oh, you're talking about where you could change the angle and get a top-down camera view and stuff?
Yeah, I've seen a few things kicking about with this. And some of the stuff, someone made like a Zelda top-down, where you go into the next room and the camera moves to the next room.
Yes.
It looked fantastic, but what they don't show and what people don't realize when they look at that is it doesn't change how the player controls. So you're still using the mouse to point up and point down and turn left and turn right, and you're still using W to go forward. Whereas obviously if you're looking top down, you expect W to go up and A and D to go left and right, or the equivalent on your analog stick. I have no idea how that would work out on a mobile. That'd be weird. But yeah, the disorientation of playing with a fixed camera position like that would be a nightmare. So realistically, unless you're going to have something that's semi-following the player from an angle, it's going to be really hard to wrap your head around. So I think this camera command thing's fantastic, But in order for that to really, truly enable new game modes, they need to allow the add-on makers to change input buttons as well. That'd be nice.
Interesting. Is that Amanti? Is that the next name there?
Something like that.
Right. They say, hi there. I really like the layout, if that's the right word for it, of the podcast. And I do agree with Foxy about when he said he always mixes up April and May when writing them. So it's not just you, Foxy.
Oh, good. I'm glad it's not good me. And that's actually feedback. That was something that we talked about on the show. So thank you.
Thank you. Yep.
Okay, M2 Lansky says, hello, Foxy. Hello, Slack. I love the podcast, and I know it's very hard sometimes to find time to record together, but would be very nice to have a podcast weekly with more reliability. Don't get me wrong, I just like it to like too much content that both of you produce. I know, M2 Lansky, we're working on it. I'm sorry.
We're working on it. Thank you, though. Thank you.
Jeez.
Big Blue Dog up next and says a suggestion for us podcast junkies. Maybe when something comes up, hopefully pre-planned like a vacation, pull an old episode off the shelf and dust it off and give it a quick intro why it's one of your favorite episodes or why it might be fun to listen to again. A lot of other podcasts do it and keep us poor folks from going podcast hungry. Thanks.
I see. I responded to this in the Discord with basically saying, as politely as I could, what a stupid idea this is. Because, and don't get me wrong, I know other podcasts do it, but a podcast is always available. It's like video on demand, like Netflix or Amazon Prime. You go to your podcast app and all of the episodes are there. For us to then put out an episode we've already put out, why? Why don't, if you've not got a podcast for a week, just go back and pick one of the old episodes that you like the sound of, rather than us going, yeah, it's just so ingenuine, the content. Here's a carbon copy of an episode we've done because I like this one. It's not going to be relevant. The news is going to be out of date. The bug reports are going to be old. It's not the right sort of podcast to do that with. And I don't think, realistically, I can't think any podcast is the right sort of podcast to do that with, because really all you need to be doing is going, hey, we haven't got a podcast this week. Go and check out episode 52 because we really liked it.
Yeah.
It's
no.
so weird. Don't you think it's weird, Slack?
Yeah, it's a bit odd. It's a bit odd.
Like, can you imagine, oh, I ain't got a YouTube video today, so I'm just going to post episode 32 and just say at the beginning, I really like this one, watch it again.
For some reason, my brain was just sitting here thinking something like that, but it was a little bit weirder. I was like, what if, you were crunched on time and wanted to do something, so you went back and reacted to one of your first episodes?
Yeah, but that would take effort.
Yeah, true.
That would take effort. That's just, you could do that, and I think that could be quite entertaining. But if you've got, the reason you haven't done your podcast is because you're strapped for time and there's an emergency going on, it's very difficult to then, record you reacting to it for another 2 or 3 hours and then edit all that together. So just to put out the same podcast again just seems...
Yeah, no. Appreciate the feedback, but no, that one just doesn't fly. No. Yeah, so sorry if that comes across as harsh. It's not intended to be, because I do realise other podcasts do it. Just for me, it's just so bizarre. When you can pick any you want to and listen to it at any time. They don't go away. We don't take them offline. I can understand why some podcasts would probably do that for, we can't not have a podcast go out because our views will suffer and our listeners will, and it can, from an analytics and statistics point of view, absolutely. You can already see from our statistics and analytics, because we've been a bit inconsistent this last month or so, we've really taken a nosedive. But we do this podcast because we enjoy doing it. We're not, and we would like to see something come out of it in the end. And of course, we want it to be successful. But what I don't want is another YouTube channel where I must do this because of statistics. And if I don't do the things I want to do, then doing Minecraft on YouTube, you are pushed into a corner so far. You can't do any of the things you want to do. You have to do it the way YouTube says you have to do it. Otherwise, it hurts. So I don't want the podcast to become that. I want it to be. I want this to be our freedom outlet. Yep. Where we can rant and rave and do stupid changes.
Yeah. Speaking of ranting and changes. Speaking of changes, Slack. News. Time with news. Which means I have to turn on the news. There you go, guys. There's the news in the middle of the screen. We're going to start the news with Minecraft Java Edition 1.20 pre-release 1, which came out last week, Slack.
Did you notice what that says, though? That says pre-release.
Yes. That means very, very, very soon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Usually they drop, 3 pre-releases before it goes live?
Yeah, sometimes more than that. And obviously then you get release candidates and things like that. But isn't pre-release after release candidate normally?
I thought it used to be.
I can't remember. But anyway, it's very soon. It's very, very soon. I don't know if there's been a second one. I haven't actually looked. I should probably actually look, but I'm not going to because we're doing the news now.
Nah,
so
it's okay.
There is a relatively big change in this, which I'm really surprised at. And that is that coloured wool, carpets and beds can now be dyed any other colour. So if you've got a red bed and you don't want it red anymore, you can just re-dye it. If you've got purple carpet and you don't want it purple anymore, you can just re-dye it, which is universal crafting.
Yep. It's nice to see that that's actually making it into the game.
Yeah. We don't have that on Bedrock Edition, but that would be nice. Do we? Can we re-dye beds? I know we can re-dye one block of wool at a time.
I'm pretty sure we could do the wool, but I don't know about the beds. Jeez, I don't know. We've been playing with the universal pack for so long. I don't know what's vanilla and not.
Can't do.
No.
The other interesting change from this changelog for technical people is and speedrunners as well. Loot table randomness is no longer random. Well, it is, but it will be random based on the seed of the world. So if you open, if you've got one world and you open the same seed on a different platform or a new world but the same seed, the loot in each of the loot boxes and things that you find and drops and things will be identical, which is obviously a really good thing for speedrunners because that means they've always got a fair opportunity depending on which thing they go to. So yeah, that was interesting, I think.
Yeah, that definitely changes things up for speedrunning there. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's, as usual, a whole bunch of bug fixes, which we're not going to be getting into because, well, that's what that other Minecraft podcast is for. So we're going to skip this one out, and we're going to shoot over to Minecraft Beta and Preview 1.20.0.24, and I did it, Slack. I didn't call it 1.19.20.
I know this. Are you feeling okay? Do I need to check for a fever over there?
I redid it.
Hold on. No fever. Okay.
Okay, and with this changelog, we've got a couple of new things. We have a new achievement called Smithing with Style. So I assume that's to do with the new smithing tables and armor trims. We have... Okay. This is getting a bit strange now, but do you remember a few weeks ago I had a bug with one of my add-ons and they fixed it in the next update?
Mm-hmm.
They've done it again. So
which one?
In 1.19.80, they changed how custom spawn eggs would work, which meant that you basically had to write your command differently in order for custom spawn eggs to work. And with my mob heads and mini blocks packs, my non-experimental versions of those, it meant that when you picked up one of your mob heads off the ground, it would just give you a vanilla spawn egg because they broke the code. And with the mini blocks pack, it would do the same thing. But because with the mini blocks pack, you get the mini blocks from the Wandering Trader, the Wandering Trader would only give you spawn eggs. So I changed the code to fix it to only find that the Wandering... They basically changed how custom spawn eggs work throughout the game. And they was like, no, we're not going back. This is how we changed it. And then didn't remember to actually change it for like trade tables. So it works for loot tables and it worked for other things, but it didn't work for trade tables. So there was no way, regardless of what you did, you could get a Wandering Trader or any villager to give you a custom spawn egg, which broke a lot of things. So I put out a bug report, told them it's all broke, and they fixed it already. So that's good. It says here, in add-ons, fixed an issue that prevented custom entity spawn eggs from being supported in trade tables. And there's my bug report. Amazing. I did it, guys. I got a bug fixed again, which is nice.
Fanciness.
Now, interestingly enough, Slack, we don't even have to wait for 1.20 to come out to get this bug fixed, because in 1.19.83, a stable release that came out today, they've fixed it again. So basically, they've gone, oh dear, we made a big boo-boo. They've reverted the ability to do it with the give command. They've reverted the ability to do it with the Mojang queries, with the add-ons, and they've reverted the way to do it with the loot tables as well, so you can still do it the old way. So I can fix it now. It's good news.
Good, fix it. I mean, yeah. Mm-hmm.
The other good thing about this update is they've fixed some crashes, several crashes that could occur during gameplay. Now, we have no idea what those crashes are, but there are several of them that have been fixed. Now, I call me cynical if you want, but if I was the person writing changelogs for Mojang and I wanted it to make it look like we'd all been working hard, then I might be tempted to put out vague statements that are completely unprovable to people as well. So, oh yes, we've really optimized many of the code and we've fixed several things that have definitely been fixed. You can't prove it because we're not going to tell you which ones they've been fixed, but I promise you.
I bet you I can load up the game and hit the RTX button and watch Minecraft crash.
Probably, yes. Why don't they tell you which ones? Why not? So, because people would be interested to know, is it fixed the problem I was having? No, it just could be. Maybe.
Maybe. Try it. Might work, yeah. 90% code, yeah. Jeez.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Flash has just written to us saying, just checked. Yes, you can re-dye beds using the crafting table in Bedrock. Well, there you go. Nice. Oh. Java's catching up. Finally. Jeez, it's been behind for so many years.
Yeah. One of these days they'll get their stuff together.
Believe it or not, Slack, we're only 26 minutes in, but that's it for the news. We're done. 3 changelogs in like 3 weeks. Nothing.
Yeah, we're getting close. We're getting close.
So, I guess that means it's time to go and find out what's bugging you, Slack.
Now, is this from last week or the week before? Because I know I've talked about this on stream, but I don't know if I've talked about this to you.
I'm pretty sure you wrote this for last week when we had to cancel.
Okay.
So I don't think you've talked about it on the podcast.
Okay,
well, load it up on the big screen so people can see it, even though it's tiny.
Yeah. The main thing of us switching over to the new game engine, right? RTX, right?
Yes.
Right. Load up 1.19.80, whatever. It doesn't matter. Hit your RTX button and watch Minecraft go bye-bye. Completely crash.
Oops.
Every time.
Oops.
Yep. Completely broke. The literal thing that gave us the new game engine.
Yes.
With the button you can't rebind.
Yes.
Touch it and watch Minecraft crash. Even with no RTX pack, just buy.
Even if you haven't got RTX enabled, you press that key.
Yep. Bye.
It's the crash button, Slack. It's not RTX button, it's crash button.
No, I had nothing to here. I've been aiming to.
Oh, jeez.
I found if you turn off beautiful skies, you can turn it on and off, though.
Right.
But the first time you turn it on, you have to do it from the menu. You can't do it from inside the game. If from the main menu, you turn RTX on and go into the game with RTX on and beautiful skies off, you can turn it off and on all day long. But if you have beautiful skies on and you try to do on or off, you'll instantly crash.
Right.
Instantly. And if you try to turn it on without turning it on from the main menu first, you'll crash every time. Yep.
Good job. Good job, RTX peeps. You've done a good job. Now, there has been some interesting developments with RTX over the last couple of weeks.
Yes, there has.
Probably give a shout out to Madlad, who has made a pack called Better RTX, and they have actually gone deep into the code of Minecraft materials and how it all works, and released a pack called Better RTX. And I tell you what, people must have been waiting for this for a while. I know they've been tweeting about it on Twitter for a little while, but when they put the tweet out that it's released and that you could only download it for the Discord, I joined the Discord, and if you go to their welcome screen, it was just constant people joining that Discord. By the time I looked, there was about 5,000 new members that had just joined this Discord, which I just was unbelievable for effectively an add-on. And yeah, it's still there now. Just
Oh yeah, I joined it earlier today, and since then there's been about 50 to 100 people join. Yeah.
It's ridiculous. So he's really onto something with this, which I find surprising because most people play with Minecraft with the inability to play RTX because, you know, it's for Windows people with RTX cards or with at least ray tracing capable cards. So yeah, fantastic that they've been so successful with that, but it does come with a few prerequisites that you have to fiddle with your computer a bit. But I have been in touch with Madlad because they said on Twitter that they were struggling to find somewhere decent to host it, and I've offered to host it on my website, and we're looking at the potential ability to be doing that going forward. So I just need to get my head around how it all works.
Have you seen the new stuff he's been posting today with
No.
entities? I'm putting in one in our general text chat right here. Yep, he's getting it to work with entities now too. So Enderman with glowy eyes.
Yeah.
The drowned with their face lighting up and everything. It's really nice, really nice.
Well, I can't wait to actually get that downloaded and fiddled with and find out how it all works. I believe it's still only going to work for people on Windows. I think I might be wrong about that, but yeah, absolutely fantastic. And apparently, it's fixed a load of RTX bugs as well within this pack. So,
the rain creating puddles on the ground.
Yeah.
And you know how with RTX on, sometimes you'll look quickly from left to right and you get that flashbang where everything, you look somewhere where it's darker, so it needs to readjust.
Yeah.
Yeah. From all the videos I've seen, none of that happens. And it's just, it's beautiful.
Oh, the picture there that you've seen is glow squid actually glowing Slack.
Yeah. Now, and then when you dim it, like you hit it, it actually dims.
Will we get dynamic lighting with that as well? When you're holding the torch, do you think?
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised with the amount of stuff that Madlad's doing. It's looking amazing.
Now, one thing that slightly concerned me in one of the conversations I've had with him briefly was that because he has he's not broken the game code. It's not like he's hacked the main core code of Minecraft, but he has effectively broken into code that they don't want you to get into, which is the material files.
Yeah.
Now, the materials files always just used to be text files. They were effectively shader files, and anyone could edit them and change them, which is why we used to have chunk border packs and things like that. And then they took that away and they changed them when they brought RTX out and the new graphics engine to a bin file, which is a binary file, which you can't just read. It's compiled code. And what they've had to do in order to make these changes is decompile this code, rewrite them, and recompile them for Minecraft. So I was a little bit concerned about the legality of that with Minecraft's terms and conditions, but Madlad has assured me that he has done his due diligence. He's contacted Mojang and he can't find anything in the terms and conditions that says that they shouldn't, and they didn't really know whether or not it was okay. So he's going to roll with it.
That's all you can do, really. That's all you can do.
Until they tell him not to. So
yeah, exactly. Until he gets a cease and desist. Yeah.
Which he can't. He's not reselling Minecraft. He's not doing anything he shouldn't, and he's not doing anything that a modder wouldn't do when they're making mods. So
yeah, it looks nice. It looks really nice. It's very smooth.
Yeah,
I was planning on trying to get to it today and messing with it, but I hadn't. So over the next few days, I'm definitely going to mess with it.
Yeah. I hope it. I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will run great. But I'm just going to say, I hope it doesn't turn your PC into a egg frying machine again.
Yeah, well, I'm on the laptop, so I mean, it'll be all right. Everything's fine.
Okay, right. Bugdate from the peeps. We have Tiny Raccoon, who says, my Bugdate today is to do with trident killers. What happened every time I log out, I go to the nether or unload my trident killer for a farm while it's still on. If my phone turns off during an AFK session, the trident killer completely breaks. 2 pistons extend at the same time on opposite corners, and it is as if the redstone signal is duplicated. This might only happen on realms. How to repeat, log off or go through portal while trident killer is active, maybe only on a realm. And as well as that, Tiny Raccoon, the tridents are falling through the bottom again and destroying your hopper minecarts underneath and getting despawned. So,
trident killers are nice and broke. Yep.
Yeah, thanks, game. Thank you very much.
That.
Let's hope they fix that for 1.20.
Yeah. Hilldog24 is up next, and they say, hello, guys. Love the podcast. I know there was a bug mentioned a few weeks ago where in Efficiency 1, a netherite scrap was found in a woodland mansion chest. I have also found one of those. So last week I started a new world and went to the nearest mansion to see if I could find one again. This time I found an efficiency 1, a crimson sign. I have found a total of 3 efficiency 1 items in the woodland mansion chest now, and currently have my efficiency 1 crimson sign in an item frame in my base. I also found that if you place it down the sign and pick it up, back up, it loses the enchantment. I love this bug, but it's very funny to me. Thank you guys for everything.
An efficiency 1 sign, a crimson sign. How?
Remember, there was the efficiency 1 caps.
Yeah, I remember that. But again, how? Because it's not in the loot tables.
I got nothing. I have nothing. No.
Amazing, absolutely fantastic. Jeez. Okay, Slick Person says, I have a world where villagers sleep on the floor next to their beds. This world also never included the wild update. I don't know whether Slick Person just never updated or what, but to have a world that's locked into an old version of the game is a bit odd. But yeah, villagers definitely did do that at one point. So I'd maybe say that your game just hasn't updated.
Yeah, that's definitely what I would say there. Yep.
Yeah. Strange. Okay, that is it for the Bugdate. In the unlikely event that you find a bug with Minecraft Bedrock Edition, then you can let us know by emailing us at news@theminecraftupdate.com, filling in the feedback form, or joining our Discord. Please remember, we do appreciate it when we get the bug report numbers so that we can add them to our website and get as many of these fixed as possible. But if you haven't got the number, we would love to hear any strange and interesting bugs you've got anyway. Let us know. Jeez. Right, Slack.
They're not bugs, they're features.
Yeah, definitely. It's time for Our Week in Minecraft. So the bonus show gives you just our week in general, but now it's time for Our Week in Minecraft. What have we been doing in the game? And there's a big old blank space next to your dot.
Well, that was last week, and this week in Minecraft, I've been I've been trying to work on making pretty RTX builds.
Okay. Okay, you're back on RTX again, are you?
Yeah, I've been in the RTX kick. That's why, I don't like the RTX bug, and I noticed the better RTX things and everything. So it's been a lot of playing with blocks, mixing patterns and stuff like that. And today I got on TB and started building one of the nether tree farms. And
all right.
I'm probably gonna finish that tonight. Really, I don't know. I've actually the last 2 days started getting in a Minecraft mood again.
Oh, nice. So, the nether stuff does look good in RTX.
Oh, so good. So good. It looks so good. And now that I've seen that better RTX pack that we were just talking about, I'm like, I really, really want this in my life.
Give me an example of what you've been putting together that works in RTX that you wouldn't generally do in vanilla.
I'll tell you what, with the combo of packs that I'm using in RTX, crying obsidian with amethyst buds on them. Oh my God. Because the pack that I got, the crying obsidian does that nice glow.
Oh yeah.
And then all the buds at different levels have different levels of glow.
Nice.
So mixing those together, it looks like they just belong together. I absolutely love it. And I don't know if you call it by a goof or what. You know how in vanilla you can get lights to glitch through the floor, through slabs and stairs.
Yeah.
Well, you can do that in RTX too, as long as there's no other major light sources by. But it has to have a direct light block. So like, say, a shroom light with a stair butted up directly against it.
Really? And it passes the glow through?
It passes a glow through. And it's very interesting because the glow can be affected by the different light. So say you put up, like, say, 2 quartz pillars, and then in the middle you put 2 stairs on top of stairs.
Yeah.
And then behind that you put shroom lights. Well, when you go to the other side, you get a yellow glow. Now, if you change that to frog lights, if you change it to the purple ones, you get a purple glow. If you change it to, I'm trying to think, glowstone, you get a really bright glow through it. If you change it to sea lanterns, you get a light blue glow. It's really a lot of fun.
That's really, they've obviously changed how RTX works then, because when that came out, the whole point was it was like real life lighting. It wouldn't allow light to pass through solid block.
But if you've got any other light source really close to it, it'll blind it out. You won't see it.
Yeah, but it shouldn't happen anyway. But
it does.
That's amazing that it does.
But it has to be directly against a light block. So, like, if you put a one gap space in it, it won't do it. If you put a torch directly on the back of it, it won't do it. If you pour lava back there, it won't do it. But if you put the shroom light against the stair and you have it where you can't, it'll do it every time.
Amazing.
It's nice.
Oh, well, I'd like to look at that. I'd like to see these colourful glows.
Yeah, it's really nice. But that's what I've been messing in. Me and nether builds. I'm tackling that other nether build that we were talking about, and I just love RTX. I just wish it worked reliably. That's why I have so many problems with RTX. It's because I like it.
Yeah,
I think it could be
so
good.
Many problems with Minecraft because we love it, right?
Yeah. It's like that Better RTX pack is like, it looks like everything we were promised and didn't get.
Yeah. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. All the things they said we were going to get and then never did. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, they've been promising.
Yeah, it's like that guy's like, you know what? They promised this. We didn't get it. I'm going to deliver it. And I'm interested. I'm sold. I love you, dude. Thank you. Please keep going. Yeah,
hats off to Madlad.
Yeah, Jeez. Hats off. Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
what have you been doing in Minecraft?
Well, I was just going to say I'm a little bit sad for you, really, because you just say now you're just getting into Minecraft again. You know what that means, don't you?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Jen's going to go into labour and ruin it for you.
Yeah. I'm looking over there. Yeah, she's over there stuffing her face with something again. What are you eating now? Are you eating my cashews? You had your own snacks. Now you're taking.
You just it's fine.
Thankfully, she doesn't drink Pepsi. Is all I'm saying.
Okay, so my week. Last week, I was working on the big door to my base, and I don't know if I mentioned it, but the problem with it was the hallway as you went in was 3 blocks wide, and I wanted it to be an impressive door with slime and pistons and all that sort of stuff that would open wide and close wide, but the only way I could do it, and I tried flying machines and all sorts, was either having a block down the middle, which made the door split in two, which looked stupid, or have it off-center. So I ended up going with, well, we're just going to have it off-center. So I made my door a 2-wide door and my hallway a 3-wide hallway. And it looked great from the outside. And when you open the door, it looked a little bit rubbish. And I got some comments on YouTube saying, I can't watch your content anymore if this is the sort of thing you're going to do. Oh, jeez. So during a live stream, I took it upon myself to basically, so as you walk through the door, there's a hallway, and then you get to like a circular room in the middle. So the whole of my base is worked on having a 3-wide middle. Yeah. So I had to, at some point, get to 3 wide. So what I thought I'd do is, okay, we'll make the hallway separate. So we'll take the hallway in a block, make that a 2-wide hallway, and then put a door going from the hallway into this central room. And what I did was I created another piston door, which if you walk through it a certain way is a bit of a magic door, because on one side of it, it's 2 blocks wide and it opens up 2 blocks. And you go through the other side and you turn around and it's 3 blocks wide. And all 3 blocks like open properly. But if you open it and look at it in a certain direction, you can see there's just a pillar where the 2 block wide thing is on the other side. But if you walk through it sort of to the side and go through, you don't notice it. So that I kind of got around it a bit, sort of. So, yeah. I also then, on a live stream, decided it was a really good idea to listen to Chat Slack.
That's dangerous.
Yeah.
How long have you been streaming now?
I said that I needed a beacon in order to make I got my good old fashioned run along the 1 block of water concrete farm. Yeah. It's working great, but I could do to be faster. In order to make it faster, I need to have haste. So I decided I needed some more beacons, and I was like, I don't want to go and fight a wither. How can we cheese the wither on Bedrock anymore? You used to be able to do it on those end portal things, but I don't think that works anymore. You used to be able to do it in the nether roof, but I don't think that works anymore. And a couple of people popped up.
I've got a cheese spot on Truly Bedrock where you can.
Oh, have you? Oh, okay. Well, a couple of people piped up and said, there's a specific place in the bedrock on the floor in the overworld, which is a 3x3 block, and you can do it there. So I was like, okay then. And bear in mind, on Minecraft Bedrock Edition, if you don't know, every single world, regardless of seed, has the exact same bedrock layout, right?
Yep.
The bedrock at the bottom of the world is exactly the same as slime chunks. So I was like, okay, get me to the coordinates and we'll go and do it. So they got me to the coordinates and we went and trundled off to this area of the world. It wasn't that far from my base, actually. It was about 1,000 blocks away. Dug down to the bottom of the world, cleared out a big area, got it all cleared out, and they're like, okay, so what you need to do now is lay the wither thing on the floor.
Oh, you listen to them without testing?
Have it face in a certain direction, right? And then what'll happen is when it spawns in, it'll glitch into that block in front of it and it'll suffocate. I was like, right, okay, we'll give it a go. So I did do this. I knew it was not going to work because it's chat, and I knew it wouldn't work. So I dug a big tunnel, put a nether portal in so I had an escape route, put all my stuff over there, built the thing exactly as they told me to do it, and it did. It glitched through the block, through to the other side of the block, and then was there and took me on. And what was quite good is we had it like above me where it couldn't really see me, and because it was deep slate, it couldn't hit me. So I was just sort of popping out and shooting it and popping back in again, and it was all working pretty well until I got a little bit cocky and it did a lot of damage, and I died. And when I died, I lost all of my stuff. So I got a bit of it back, but my axe, my shovel, my shoes, and a bunch of other stuff all got eaten, which was a shame. So I was really happy with chat after that. I did manage to kill it in the end. It took a long time because I wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared. I had no milk with me. I had no beacon fix. I had no potions. I just was totally unprepared for it. I didn't even have my proper bow. I had 22 hours and a mending bow. So yeah, then I for the next two videos I got coming out, one tomorrow and one on Friday, is basically the first one's me getting re-enchanted all my stuff, and then I go bed blasting and TNT mining in the Nether to see which is faster to get ancient debris. And do you know which one wins, Slack? I don't want to give away any spoilers, but if you had to guess, what's better, bed blasting or TNT?
According to the same thing we did on TB 2 seasons ago, it all broke down about the same at the end.
Yeah, you get equivalent amount, but placing beds and then putting your little block in the way and standing on a piece of obsidian is decidedly more work than putting down a piece of TNT and just lighting it. So I go with TNT every day.
Every time I do it. Mm-hmm.
TNT doesn't do quite as much of a big blast radius, but you also don't get fire everywhere.
I tell you, my personal favorite's end crystals now. Now that you can place them on other entities and place them on bedrock, just dig down. Yeah, they nuke whole areas.
Yeah, if I had a gas farm, I would definitely go with that. I think
where's your nether portal? I mean, I can build a gas farm. I mean, you enjoyed the one on season 2, right?
Yep. Yeah, it's my favorite. I'd love another one of those, please.
Right. Y'all heard it. Gas farm coming right up near Foxy's portal. Yep.
So here we go. That's been our weeks in Minecraft. And next week, Slack's going to tell you all about how, with his newborn baby sat on his knee, he built a gas farm above my nether portal.
Huh? What? You broke up. You legitimately broke up for a minute.
I said next week we'll be telling all of the viewers all about how you, with your newborn baby sat on your knee, built a gas farm above my nether portal.
I mean, if that's what you all want to see, just make sure to let us know in the feedback. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Right. We are going into the wish list next. Before we do, as usual, if you are listening to this live and you have a question, then put it in the live questions channel on the Discord. We've got a bunch of questions this week, but we could always have some more. So, yeah, if you've got any questions at all, throw them in there. And please remember, don't chat in there. Just write your questions. Okay? Jeez.
Foxy, that's a lot of wish list.
Yeah, we got a bit of wish list. It started off very small, and then because we didn't do a podcast, it got very big.
There's that one. How many pages is that one?
Oh, it's only a bit. It's not that bad. Could be worse. Let's start with. I tell you what. Let me move the big ones in order, and I'll deal with the big ones, and you can have the small ones, and then you don't have to panic about those big ones. Okay, so I'll do that ridiculously long one first. Get it out of the way.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, ridiculously long one. Yep.
Rizal 102 says, "Hi, block update crew. 2 ideas, hopefully for the good ideas bin today. My first is very simple. Silk Touch, keeping extinguished campfires extinguished. Nothing more annoying than making a nice roof from campfires to realise it's a block too low once you've extinguished them all. It does, doesn't it? If you break a campfire, you have to use Silk Touch anyway, otherwise it just breaks into charcoal and it stays extinguished. That's how I normally do it.
That seems like how it goes to me.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that's how it works already. You go and put them all out with your spoon, break them all, and then you've got, apparently JF Bird Blue in the chat says, no, it relights.
Oh, that's broken. Okay, I'm fine with that idea.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll put that one down as a good idea. Yeah. My second idea is to continue from my question last week regarding silverfish drops. I loved Slack's idea for them to drop cracked variants of the crackable blocks. To expand on this, I would like to see it be the last block that the silverfish burrowed into. But to add to this, I would like them to be renewable, a way to get a decorative version of the suspicious sand and gravel. Coming across a block of the suspicious blocks with the lowest percentage chance that whilst it being brushed away may pop out a silverfish, kill it and you get a decorative sus block. Although the texture is extremely similar to regular blocks, it gives a way to be able to use those blocks as the player wishes. Imagine a silverfish farm where you can push gravel or sand near the spawner, infecting the block, brush the block, and the silverfish drop into a trident killer as a guaranteed suspicious block drop. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts. Many thanks, Rizal. Do you know what? That's actually a cracking idea because, yet again, as we just talked about earlier, Minecraft going, no, you must play the game like this. Why add in a block that's really nice, that would really make a lot of good stuff for like path blocks? And like we had this red sand argument the other day and you didn't agree. But for me, suspicious sand and suspicious gravel just add to your ability to make really nice looking path work and build work. Why make it a block you can't have? Why can't you pick it up with Silk Touch? Why? Which developer decided, no, you can't do it? Why? What's the reasoning?
I don't know.
So yeah, that would be that would be great. Being able to put a silverfish into a block, have it like, force it to come out one way or another, and then get the like slightly destroyed version of that block. I'm well up for that. That gives silverfish a reason to exist and a whole new set of farms for us.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that. Yep.
Yeah, fantastic. Really good ideas there, Rizal. Fantastic. I really like them. Brilliant.
What was that?
Ubiquitix.
That's not a tongue twister at all. No. How about a netherite anvil? It would have a similar crafting recipe to the iron anvil, 4 netherite blocks plus 1 netherite ingot, but it would be indestructible or at least a much higher quality or higher durability. On the downside, it can only be placed once and not be broken and moved after that.
Well, for a start, an anvil is not made out of 4 iron blocks and 1 iron ingot. It is 3 iron blocks and 4 iron ingots, but we'll let you slide on that one.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that at all. I don't see the point in having the downside. If you're going to spend 3 netherite blocks on an anvil, you want that anvil to last a blooming long time and be able to put it where you need it. So I'm happy with that, actually. I would go for a netherite anvil.
That's indestructible?
Yeah.
Yeah,
why not?
Me too. So
why not? If you put the time in to get the netherite.
Yeah, make it happen. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Slick Person says, in Minecraft Legends, there are badges that would be a really cool addition to Minecraft. Good idea, bad idea, or fun idea?
No clue what they're talking about.
Should we add bad badges to Minecraft?
No.
I agree. Number 2, I have quite a few quite a few golem ideas as well. They include Ice Golem. This golem can be the size and shape of an iron golem, but is ranged as well as melee. It fires knockback snowballs at hostile mobs. Recipe is a T of ice blocks with a jack-o'-lantern on top. The snow golem fires snowballs.
Yep.
So
I've already got that.
It already exists, mate.
Yep.
The clay golem. The golem is made up of 4 clay blocks stacked on top of each other, each one having a single eye. The top block is more or less a slab that has a nose as well. All of the eyes focus when they see a hostile mob. Recipe is 3 clay blocks stacked on top of each other with a jack-o'-lantern head.
All the eyes focus when you see a hostile mob? I'm confused.
Don't know. And number 3, palm trees found on the beach on small islands with neat colouring on them. Coconuts can be found on them and on the ground around them. They give you planks, doors, and all the other stuff. More ideas coming if you include these ideas on the podcast. Slick Person drowned while trying to escape Foxy Hotel. Everybody does palm trees out of jungle trees.
No.
It would be
Yeah.
nice. Don't get me wrong. It would be nice to travel the world and see a hot, like, beach biome and see palm tree looking trees on it. I wouldn't mind that at all. And
it would be right next to a nice spike biome.
Yes. And I wouldn't mind coconuts because I made a coconut shy the other day with dragon eggs, and I thought that was like a really fun thing to do. It would be great to actually be able to have like coconuts or something. I have no issue with those things at all, but I don't need them in Minecraft, and I don't think everybody needs them in Minecraft. So the palm trees, I think, is your best idea. The rest of them, I don't really see any point to. And your more ideas coming if you include these ideas on the podcast. That's up to you, mate. You don't have to send us any ideas, but you're not going to blackmail me into putting your ideas in good ideas bin.
No. So even palm trees, I'd say is fun, but
I'll put that in fun ideas. But I don't know. I would like to see palm trees in the game, but we don't need them. I think that's a good thing because they're a relatively easy tree for people that aren't good at making trees to build. And even I've made palm trees before, and I'm rubbish at doing custom trees. So I think that's a nice one for the player to do.
Yeah, I would agree on that one. Parrot is up next and says, I would like to be able to throw swords just for the fun and a rare usage, maybe locked behind an enchantment. They shouldn't go too far, though, to keep the tridents useful.
I throw my sword all the time, constantly.
I do it quite often, too. It's called the Q button. Yep.
Yeah. Every single time I don't want to throw it, I find myself throwing it. So it already exists, all right. No, I know what you mean. I haven't got... They got that in Zelda, and it does come in useful sometimes because it's quite a strong hit, but it does a lot of durability damage to the thing you're throwing. It's like a critical hit, and it's useful if you haven't got a bow. I can imagine that being quite useful in some conditions in Minecraft, but you wouldn't want to do it with your main one. If you, let's say you were in the nether or something and you threw it, or you were somewhere where it could disappear or go off a cliff or go in lava. But it would give us a good use for all of the millions of bows we get, swords we get from the farms. Just having a couple of those into your inventory to just like lob occasionally at a mob.
If it was a guaranteed critical hit and I could like one-shot a creeper with it, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But is it a good idea or is it a fun idea? Should we take this to the live peeps?
Yeah, take it to the last peep because I'm torn on this one. I could use it. If it was a guaranteed critical and I didn't have to carry a bow, so I had a sort of ranged weapon, but I had to go retrieve it always, I could be down with that.
Yeah, I think so. Right, I've just put that into the Discord chat. Can you either thumbs up it or thumbs down it? And if you can't do reactions, then just write good or bad underneath it, and we'll monitor it from there. While you're all doing that, I'm going to say what Jazer has wished for, which is simple and short idea this week. No need for a TLDR. Path blocks should behave like stairs. You shouldn't need to bounce like a rabbit to make your way up a pathed hill. Jazer died from starvation. P.S. Slack, I really think you should reconsider the craftable XP idea from last week. How nice would it be to walk into your base, trigger a short XP shower, and refresh your tools and armor? Seems a lot nicer than having triple levels in your hotbar. Just saying. Jazer died again to prove a point. 350 levels have been reduced. You can make an XP shower with enchantment bottles from getting from villagers, so don't really need to do that. In terms of path blocks behaving like stairs, they're still nearly a full block. It's only 1 pixel lower than a full block, so no, I don't think so. Sorry. It is annoying when you have to jump up path blocks, though, and not path blocks. What am I thinking of? Farmland, and you end up breaking it.
Yeah, that one's really annoying. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, we have not a single bad for the throw weapon idea. They are all good.
Make it happen.
Flash says, I wouldn't throw my sword. Might need it for the guy I haven't seen yet. Good point, but it's going in the good ideas.
I like it. Yep, good. Thank you.
Okay, so sorry, Jazer. They're swinging a miss on that one, mate.
Yeah, definitely a big no on that. We got Tiny Raccoon is up next and says, hi, on my wish list week is for a fan launcher or a similar object to the game. This would be an object block you could place on the ground and step onto it to launch you. Basically a bubble column for late game that is easy to make. You could place them all around your different areas and get launched to start your elytra more easily. Maybe would have to be quite expensive though, as bubble columns would become redundant otherwise. Thanks for the great podcast, Tiny Raccoon. I love this idea.
Well, I'll tell you what, it already exists. You get yourself a sticky piston and a slime block, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you stand on it and press the button that's next to it, and up you go.
Yeah. I like what they're talking about, though, like it just being like a bouncy pressure plate.
Yeah. Again, they got them in Zelda. They're very useful for getting up with your hang glider.
Oh, yeah, they're in ESO. They're in a lot of games.
Little trampoline. Yeah. But you can make them. It's like 2 blocks.
I know, but it's still not the same.
It's the same. It's exactly the same.
No, it's not. It's not the same. No, it's not the same.
It's the same.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Well, I would really like green apples in the game instead of red apples.
Okay.
Shut up. Okay. If you're really, really like that, Slack, I'm
really like
to
that.
Put it in fun idea.
I like that. Yes.
It's a sticky piston.
No, it's not, but it is. No, I want it more simplified. I want it, if I walk over this, I guarantee it's going to launch me 5 blocks in the air.
You can do that with a pressure plate. Just put the pressure plate next to the sticky piston.
It's not the same. It
works exactly the same.
No, it's unreliable.
Not unreliable.
It's Bedrock Edition. It's unreliable by default.
So would your trampoline be? Okay, right. What if instead of just bouncing you straight up, you could put them on an angle and have them like ping you off in a certain direction, and then you can make like a pinball machine?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, right. Okay, we'll put it in the good ideas bin then. Jeez.
Yes.
Good idea, but horizontal too.
Could you imagine flying and all of a sudden you touch another ceiling or the block in the roof and it's like back down and throws you to the floor?
That's what I'm thinking. That'd be amazing to do one of those, like you've got to go through the hoops things and you're playing, they're getting smaller and smaller. Yes. Oh man, you almost need them on 45-degree angles as well, but I don't know how the game would do that. But yeah. Oh man! All right, fine. Jeez, it's definitely fun idea material, but somehow it's in the good ideas bin. It must be in a good mood. Jeez. Good. We got a newcomer in the chat here. Someone called Jen Fire says lava logging for some other coloured liquids, slime and honey and redstone, mud in liquid form, and able to log stuff with them.
Okay, I like the idea of lava logging, like water logging.
What blocks would you lava log?
Stairs, and stuff like that.
Yeah, that would actually be really cool to make like channels.
Channels of lava.
Going back to our TB Season 1 big old shop under the hill.
Oh, that forge, the iron forge.
If that had lava running down little channels like that would be amazing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So I get that. The slime, honey, and redstone and mud in liquid form. Look, I think that's just somebody trying to get your sticky redstone back in. And I'm no. Mm-mm.
See, in Bedrock, we can use potions in cauldrons, and obviously you can make coloured water in cauldrons with dyes. I wouldn't be opposed to be able to pick that up and pour it into a block.
So, like into stairs and slabs and channels and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a waterlock with a dyed water.
Or what if you could just dye? Yeah, what if you could just dye the water? So you put the default water in, and like you would hit, dye.
No, I think you should have to do it in a cauldron to make it more complicated and annoying.
Okay, yeah, more complicated. Yeah, okay, I'm fine with that in that degree.
Dyeable. So the water from cauldrons
can be picked up in a bucket.
Dyed. Bucket to block.
Placement. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, like it.
Yep.
Okay, good idea, Jen. Okay, Tiny Raccoon is back. Oh, it's you, Slack, isn't it?
No, Tiny Raccoon is back in nice again, and they say, "Hi y'all, I have a very good idea that you will definitely want. This is a redstone noise slider in the audio settings. Having to turn off block noises when you're at a farm is weird if you don't forget to turn it back on, especially as going into settings doesn't pause the game. Thanks again for the great podcast, Tiny Raccoon."
Is he there? It's the block slider. What's the difference if it being? You're just basically saying rename block slider.
I think they're wanting to see what they're wanting to get into. I think is more of a classification of what's redstone, because like trident killers, trap doors. Then you got the tridents, which are technically player thrown items. I think it's just too complicated to change that.
Yeah. Okay. So if it was just like dispensers and pistons and levers, I guess. So actual redstone items, if there was a slider for that. But then that's not going to affect... Yeah, your trap doors and your doors are still going to flap, I guess. And your chests.
It's a good idea, but it needs more refining. Yeah.
No, I just turn off... To be honest with you, like, just take your headphones out when you're AFK. I find it annoying. If I've got my screen on AFK and I'm video editing, I have to go in and turn the game sound off and then remember to turn it back on again. It is annoying, but it's just one of those things. If you're going to AFK, then you just got to get in the habit of doing it. And you could always just turn down your games, the noise for your game, rather than just a block slider in the settings.
See, that's why I love the one application I use. What is it? Actual multiple monitors. Every window has a few extra tabs, and I can just click right there and immediately silence that window. Just boop.
Yeah. Yeah, and the other thing with that, Tiny Raccoon, your argument for, especially because when you go into settings and pause the game, well, you're still going to have to go into the settings to turn down your redstone slider, unless you're just going to always have that down. In which case, you're going to be really confused why your pistons and your dispensers aren't making any noises, which goes against your other idea, which you said it's a bit weird when you forget to turn it back on. So I don't think it's going to happen, mate. Sorry.
No.
Rotated Downface says, I'd like observers to be able to see chests and shulkers being opened and closed. So there was a bit of a discussion about this in the Discord, actually. Somebody said, like using a skulk sensor. But I quite like the idea of this as well.
Weird, because I'm pretty sure observers can see items flowing through a chest.
I don't think they... Come on, maybe they can. Observers are weird. They can do all sorts of things you don't realise they can do. And
like,
they can do
like if you got
if
you got a hopper, a chest, then a hopper, and you're watching the chest, I think it can see the item go through it.
Can you?
I think.
Yeah.
I think.
It does make sense that they would be able to see a chest or a shulker box being opened, right? Because it's a visual thing.
Yeah.
So I think, but because obviously there's the trapped chest as well, which does the same thing.
Yeah.
But the problem with the trapped chest is it's very obvious, even though it's supposed to be not very obvious, but it is. Because you've got that like red lock on it. So I don't know. The issue is, if an observer's detecting a chest, it's going to be visible because a chest is not a full block. So it doesn't matter where you've got the observer placed, you're going to see it. If it's below the chest, you're going to see it. If it's behind the chest, you're going to see it. So...
Yeah, I'd like to know more context on what you're wanting to do with that, too.
Yeah.
I know that sounds weird, but like if you're wanting to detect if somebody takes an item out of the chest, well, that's easy. You can do that by just putting a block behind it and then a comparator and the comparator output signal comparing it. And if something gets removed, you can nuke the whole place.
I think he's just trying to do like genuine like trap chests without having it being obvious. I think he's just trying to make it easier to put traps in. But I don't think it will work because you'd be able to see the observer. So yeah, more context, please, Roth. But I think that you're right. They should be able to see it regardless because it's just an obvious thing for that they could see, right?
You know what would be really nice? It was just a random idea I had. We're getting the attunable, what is it, skulk sensors or whatever? What if you could have attunable observers?
Well, they would only see a certain thing. What is it observers are seeing that you don't want them to see?
I don't know, but what if you could use it where it would only see certain things?
That would be useful with when you're doing block pushers, pistons.
Yeah, that's more what I'm thinking, yeah.
The observer quite often sees the piston moving and then you end up with a clock.
Yeah, or like it sees it move into the air. I don't want to pay attention to when it's in front of the air. I want it to pay attention when it's in front of a solid block.
Yeah. I can see not very many cases for that, though, because generally speaking, redstone's pretty static, isn't it? So your observer's always going to be looking at the same thing anyway. It's not like they don't see entities moving and they don't see stuff wandering about. If an observer actually did see, like, I know you can put a bit of string on the floor and walk over it and the observer will detect that. But if an observer actually saw like a player walking past it, then I could say, yes, okay, we don't want it to detect that, or we don't want it to detect this entity that's walked past it. But they only tend to observe static things, don't they?
Or like the furnace arrays where you're spinning the furnace around, but it sees an update with the air and it doesn't pulse. I don't know. Random
Yeah, well,
thought.
that's just observers being broken.
No. So I was hoping by
If they
Attainable
were
it'd fix them.
reliable, we wouldn't need it. What you are really wishing for is for observers to work.
Don't say that word out loud. Right.
Okay.
Next is Blood, isn't it? Yep.
Yeah.
Says rivers should naturally generate with mud instead of dirt. It makes sense. Mud is wet, dirt is dry, and seagrass looks so much better on mud than grass. I would agree.
You're right, but mud's really dark. It's too dark. Mud is swampy, dark, and I don't think...
Well, if you had mud veins, like clay veins, like the clay patches.
I think it'd look a bit odd in the contrast. I think what you need is a mud that's not so dark. But you're right, yeah. I think the idea of dirt, it is, I mean, what you've done there is you've gone, dirt is mud, dirt is mud, dirt is mud for years, and now we've got mud, you've gone, well, dirt is just this imaginary fantasy thing that doesn't exist. No, dirt is still mud. Dirt is still the dirt below the grass. It is wet. It always is. It's not dry. But now we've got mud, you go, well, and because you use water on dirt to turn it into mud, you're going, well, dirt's clearly dry. It's not. It's still dirt. So that's a mental thing rather than a game thing.
What about farmland?
It gets darker the wetter it gets. I know, yeah. The dirt underneath it doesn't know, does it?
Let's move on. That's confusing. Yeah.
Inconsistency much in Minecraft. The Fire Dragon says, can we please have different dog breeds? No, not even reading the rest of that. We've had that one loads of times. Sorry, the Fire Dragon. Sorry. We've had that a million times. No. For good reason. Listen to our old podcast if you don't want to. Or next week when we haven't done one. I really like podcast 25, so listen to that one.
Oh, man. Do you see the next one here?
It's from our favourite person.
That Marabella Jade, yeah. My wish list would be for water mobs to recognize glass panes and not get stuck in them, especially dolphins. They just keep trying to swim through the panes and eventually suffocate.
Yep. I have made a few fish tanks and all of my fish is dead because they swam into the little tiny air gap between the water and the glass pane and suffocated. It is incredibly annoying. I agree, Jade. They shouldn't see that as a pathable space. They should see it as a full block. But
okay,
it's stupid.
Good idea.
Well, it's a bug fix, isn't it? What Jay's asking for is a bug to be fixed. So, yeah, I guess so. They did it with bees. Do you remember bees? They still do sometimes. But they used to fly up into, like, no, not just campfires.
Ceiling slabs, yeah.
Yeah, anything above them that they could get stuck in, whether it was fences or trapdoors or something, they'll fly up into it and they'd just be stuck there forever. And they've kind of semi-fixed that. So, yeah. Okay. All right, Jay, we'll let you have that one.
Okay.
Territe says... This is a small idea, but I feel like Soulfire should light you on blue fire, not orange. I'm sure we've had this one before as well.
Yeah, we've had this one.
I think it's also actually already in the good ideas bin. This could also be an opportunity for Soulfire aspect, Soul Flame enchantment that is just slightly stronger version of normal fire. So there's no difference between the fires. The fires themselves are exactly the same, just a different colour. But yeah,
actually, the Soulfire campfires actually do more damage than the regular fire campfires.
Oh, do they? Oh, well, there you go. There's always something, isn't there? Well, anyway, it's already in the good ideas bin, Territe, I think. Have a look through there and check. But if it's not, then good idea.
Yeah. Out of Dutch is up next and said, my current wish for Minecraft is to have the ability to add gunpowder to already crafted rockets to increase their flight duration.
It is so cheap. Just get some...
Just make you some new ones.
Just imagine, out of Dutch, you were playing on Java Edition and you didn't have bone meal on sugarcane. Then you would have a problem. Then you're waiting for your entire life to have paper. And then paper's, it's valuable. On Bedrock, you're swimming in paper. You don't need it. Just make some paper.
Yeah.
Use some bone meal.
Just deal with it. No, not even a good idea. No.
Yeah, sorry, out of Dutch. And our last piece of wish list is from Jen Fire again, saying a toggle off for slimes. We can get rid of other mobs through lights, but when we have slime issues, not all designs want slabs or glass all over the place. Do you know what, Jen? We've talked about this on the podcast a few times. They need to do something with slimes in order to make them spawn proofable. I don't think I don't think a game rule to toggle them off is the right way to go about it, but I do 100% believe that they need to have something that prevents them from spawning.
Yeah, how the Dutch says upside down stairs work. Yep, they still work.
Yeah,
or there's this thing called, a mob switch where you could just go down and put like 8 of them in a boat under
but
the
you shouldn't
floor.
have to do that. You shouldn't have to do that. And upside down stairs are like more expensive than the block they're made from.
Yeah, but it'll stop them.
And not every block comes in a stair.
Well, more blocks come in stairs than come in carpet. Mm-hmm.
True. No, I think I totally agree with you, Jen. But again, is it a good idea?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. We got another good idea, and that's good, because that's the last good idea we're going to have today, because that's the last idea we're going to have today. Because it's time for the questions, and not a single one of you has put anything in the live questions, you stingy bunch of stingers.
Wow. Fine.
Wow, you want an early podcast? We're only literally an hour and 15 minutes in. Why is it so quick today?
There wasn't no news, because even though we had a week off, we can all tell we're getting close. We're getting close.
True.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll start with the questions then. If you want to send us a question or a wish list item, then email news@minecraftupdate.com, join the Discord, or fill in the feedback form. Don't forget, we love them. We particularly like questions. We really like the questions, interesting ones that make us think about stuff, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez. Okay, Ubiquitix says, I remember there was some talk a few weeks ago about a patron server. Have there been any developments on that? Also, what do you guys like on your pizza? Okay, let's start with the first part of that question. We did say we could do it if we got people asking us to do it. And so far, nobody's asked us to do it, so there has been no developments on that.
Yeah, there's been no developments. And as for my pizza, I like pepperoni, ham, bacon, cheese.
As if you've got pizza. Oh, man, I'm so hungry now. And I'm going to really annoy everybody by saying, and this is genuine, I'm really into at the moment. Normally, I always used to be the pepperoni guy, but I've kind of gone off pepperoni now. My favourite genuine hand-on-heart pizza is ham and pineapple. See you later, Slack. I knew it. Oh, no, it's just me. What am I going to do? Oh, man. I'll read the next question. Authorized Absence says, hi. Love your podcast. I started playing with my son a while back. What's your advice for improving my redstone skills? I can copy off YouTube, but people usually prefer to lay it out and tell you what goes where rather than why. Good luck with growing a podcast. Yeah, that's the annoying thing about tutorials is that there's very often very little explanation as to why. And normally, I'm not going to call out all the YouTubers. There's certainly a lot of YouTubers out there that do tutorials that don't actually know why themselves, but they've seen someone else do it and they think, oh, that'll be a good tutorial for my channel, so I'm going to copy that and put it on mine. There are a few YouTubers that will explain to you why. Not many. But the best way to improve your redstone skills is just to practice, figure it out. It depends whether you've got a mind for that sort of thing. I have, and I just sort of learn my way through it, what works and what doesn't work. But if you don't have a mind for that, then unfortunately you're just going to be stuck trawling the internet for tips and tricks, I guess. What about you? What do you think, Slack?
Redstone's just one of those things. You got to figure it out. Start with small things and just figure out what you want to do and figure out how to get there. It's just that there's really no easy way to it. It's one of those things that either clicks with you really quick or you're going to have to study it.
Yeah, and don't get all... this really goes against a lot of people that watch my videos and watch my live streams. I have no idea what a ting-tong flong tabulator actually is, but all of the other YouTubers seem to talk about them constantly as if you should know. Is it like there's a T flip-flop and there's a one of those and there's a one... I don't know what they are. I've probably built 1 million of them. But when someone says to me you need to do a T flip-flop, I don't know what that is. I don't care what it is.
You need to use an AND gate with a rising edge monostable circuit.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. You don't need to know. All you need to know is, what am I trying to achieve? And how can I use the tools at my disposal in order to achieve that? What does a comparator actually do? what does a target block actually do? What does an observer actually do? And when you start playing with those individual components and figuring out how they react to the other components, then you can go, okay, so if I want to open that door and affect both of those pistons, I can do with it with that block. Or if I put this redstone torch here, it will affect both of those things. It's just practice and that. And if you're playing with your kid, then do it together and you'll both learn and it'll be a really good, fun experience.
And don't listen to others. If you build something and it works and it's the biggest redstone monstrosity in the world, who cares?
Yeah, I do that all the time.
Who cares?
Genuinely do.
Who cares if you got it to work and somebody else is like, but you can do it this way and that way and that way. No, it doesn't matter. If you did it yourself and it works, tell everybody else just to go away.
Yeah, you don't. Nobody needs to have compact redstone that's like really small. It's fine.
Put out a tutorial and somebody's like, oh, but you could have done it so much different. I don't care. This is how I do it. If you don't like it, do it your own way.
Yeah, exactly.
It's my tutorial. Right.
We've got a swear word in the next one, Slack. I just read the footer, so just be careful when you get to that.
Oh, okay, right. Rizzoli?
Yeah, Result 102, I think it is.
Result 102 says, hi, Block Update Crew. You have expressed in the past that you have a few Mojang developers that you are relatively close to. Have you ever had any be off or funny with you after you have openly criticized the new feature, question direction of the game, or just generally been negative about the Mojang team? I know you are quite fair in your opinion. Some of those, rightly so, are more negative perspective. But just wondering if it ever affects your relationship with you and those who are part of the Mojang team, with the exception of Jeff. Forget that guy. Yeah.
I'm glad you said that. Yeah. So when we say we're close with the Mojang developers, I mean, it's not like, to be honest with you, if one of them said, hey, should we go out and have a coffee? Yeah, absolutely would. But we're not in that sort of like, oh, hey, how you doing? Just having a chit chat from now and then. It's more of just a very... It's always a careful relationship to have because you don't want to be that guy that's constantly bothering them with everything and
trying to overstep your bounds of friendship with them and a trust relationship. Yeah,
they're busy at the end of the day. You know, people say, "Why don't you get one of them on the podcast?" Well, because they're not just you wouldn't just say, "Hey, do you want to do this?" Because you respect their time and their job, and it is genuinely a privilege that they've reached out to you to talk to you. Yeah. And yeah, we are very heavily critical of the game. But what you'll notice with our content now compared to what it was like a few years ago, we're not critical about the developers. We made Jeff to take that frustration and turn it into a funny thing because it's not the developer's fault. You put yourself in any job, and if you're the person doing the grunt work, you're not the person making the decisions. And we said earlier which developer came up with that idea? You know, we say the word developer. It's not them that's making the decisions, generally speaking. It's the higher ups. It's the group. It's Mojang as a whole. And yeah, you can be angry with Mojang for fiddling with the game you love the most and taking away features. But you can't be angry with a developer for doing something that's their job to do. So early on, one of the first developers that I started reaching out to about bugs and stuff that were going on used to watch my videos, and they were quite offended by a statement I made in one of my videos. In fact, it wasn't anything I'd said in my video. I was talking about the developers and how Bedrock was broken in the video, and there was a comment by somebody that said something about a bunch of monkeys working at Mojang, as in like saying basically the team at Mojang was a team of highly trained monkeys, and I riffed on it. I laughed with him and basically commented with sort of a benign sense of agreement. And it was not the right thing to do because they'd obviously not. We used to say that it seems like the people that work at Mojang are just unpaid interns that have just been brought straight out of college that don't know what they're doing. But that was just our frustration because we didn't know where to vent stuff. So yeah, they do get upset about it and they do get off with you about it. And he reached out to me and said, look, I'm not happy with that. I don't like that. That's not fair. And I removed it because he was right. And it opened my eyes. And I'm really glad he did. I'm really glad he reached out and said, that's not acceptable, because it made me see things in a different light, because it's not their fault. But it is Jeff's fault. What are you laughing at?
Oh, just thinking back, the number of developers that blocked you on Twitter at one point.
No, it's just one.
And then when we were building the mob farm in season 1, talking about the Mojang police, that we couldn't say this or else they would go off.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't
God.
think he works there anymore, that guy, but he was, I mean, I was right and he was wrong in that situation. At the end of the day, if they're going to have a Twitter presence and they're going to...
You can't accept negative criticism as well.
Yeah, exactly. You can't be a developer that's integral to the game and then start spouting stuff on Twitter that's just wrong and, you know, is not the right path that they should be taking.
Yeah.
And then when somebody goes against you, then just block them because that's easier than dealing with the truth of the situation. So that's different. That's totally different. I don't think, and I know they're only humans at the end of the day, but they really shouldn't be on Twitter because they're just asking for trouble. They're just asking for mental health issues. I mean,
look, you got to be very
a bonfire.
Yeah, it's a bonfire. You've got to be very careful of what you can take and receive on there, because if you're going to wear your emotions on your sleeve and you think that everybody is just going to always be hunky dory and happy towards you, you're so wrong. Well, you just said that the other day. You put out a video on, I can't watch your videos no more. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
I can't watch you build in Minecraft because you let a cat die in an iron farm.
I genuinely can't believe King B-Dogs. He must have a really thick skin. I can't believe he hasn't quit Twitter or just like turned off social media because of, he got so much backlash about the deep dark. But he dealt with it really well. He did genuinely deal with it really well. I think he must have stepped back at some point from telling everybody how wonderful it's going to be because he probably was told, you know, you're bigging this up a little bit. I don't know. I'm totally speculating here. He did seem to go a little bit quiet after a while, but he's still there. He's still kicking. He's still enjoying the game. At the end of the day...
But what if he knows that there's actually supposed to be more to it and they couldn't get the content out?
Yeah,
it's supposed to be big. Like, this is a portal frame, another dimension. But yeah.
And the thing is, if you want a game to be developed, well, you enjoy the game and you're invested in it like we are with Minecraft, and you want the game to be developed well, then you want the developers to be happy. They're not going to do a good job if they're just miserable all the time because we tell them what a bad job they do. And again, it's not their fault. They're told what to do and they do it to the best of their ability. They're not intentionally putting bugs in the game. They're not intentionally doing things wrong. It's just, and it's, you know, the bigger the team gets, the harder it is. Have you ever worked on anything, particularly with like coding or intricate stuff like that, and you're trying to build a wall somewhere who's already started building and you're using different bricks? You know, it's hard.
Truly, Bedrock is a prime example right here. We started off with 10 members, so now we're up to, I don't know, quite a few. It's a lot harder now for us to agree on something and do something than it was when we had 10.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I'm sorry, we went on a bit of a tangent with that one, but at the end of the day, it is a privilege that we are often reached out to by the developers, and now we treat it as so because...
Yeah, at first it was kind of it's just developed over time. It has.
We got older and wiser to it. We understand it a lot more. We've been around the block a few times, haven't we, Slack?
Yeah. We've had a few negative incidents with a few of them in the past. Yep. Yeah. Okay. And it's just better if everybody gets along.
Yeah. So is it me or you next? It's me, isn't it?
It's you.
Okay. Slick Person says, hello, this is Slick Person. I love the podcast and all you're doing. Question, do you know when the Tales and Trails is releasing to Bedrock? If not, please give an estimate. Yes, I do. No, I won't. Love the podcast. If you could include these in the podcast, more ideas will be on the way. Slick Person died of excitement because his ideas could be on the podcast.
Plot is up next. Just for fun, I'm going to ask you to predict the unpredictable. What bugs do you expect to see in a 1.20? There's got to be at least one, another Furnace XP glitch, right? It's a tradition now.
Well, we've already got the Trident Killers being broken back.
So let's go back. When was Trident Killers really messed up? 1.16?
I'm trying to think of what all the ones that are recurring, but they've already come back. They're already here.
No, we haven't got mobs spawning in trees again.
Oh, yeah. Creepers just spawning on torches.
Yeah.
Creepers spawning on torches. Chunks not rendering in, like just being big holes in the world.
Pending tick data again.
Pending tick data. Yeah. Oh, man. Just fall damage for no reason everywhere. Block lag will be back.
Block lag. New entity, so mobs despawning on chunk borders again. Bad. Yeah.
It'll be whatever there was in one. Which one would it have been? One at the 117 or 118? There'll be all those ones back.
Yeah, 1.17 bugs again.
Yeah. So it'll be just riddled with all of those ones.
Yeah,
which I think was that block lag. It was, wasn't it? Block lag city.
Look, I do not want block lag back again. I couldn't. Oh, the whole taking random damage, that was in that era. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was on it. Just random fault damage for no reason.
Oh, that's already back. That's already back now.
Oh, is it? Oh, good.
Yep, that's already back now. I was flying the other day and popped the totem again. Mm-hmm.
What, light not transferring over chunk borders? That was one back then, wasn't it?
Pretty sure that's already back too.
Is it? Oh, jeez. They're already back, guys. They're already back. Jeez. Okay.
They're always there, lurking.
Unless we get any live questions, and we haven't had any yet, then we're on our last question, guys. It's going to be the end of the podcast. It's a short one.
Which is Tiny Raccoon. On a similar vein, any predictions for extra features as surprises for the release? Also, any predictions as to a theme for 1.20.21?
I think it's a little bit late now for predictions for extra features.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll get any surprises at this point.
No, me neither. And I'd love to see either an inventory update or an end update.
Yeah.
But that's my own personal preference.
There is still a little bit of a candle inside me that says at some point we're going to find out where that deep dark portal goes.
Yeah, I'd say that's coming.
I would love to see that. Now, I really genuinely believed that 120 was going to be a tiny update when they did the live thing, but it's actually not. It's not a small update at all. There's a lot going on in this update. It's not one of the biggest we've had, but if you think about all of the new things we're getting, the biomes, the whole new structures, the new mobs, the suspicious sand, the camels, the bookshelves, the hanging signs, the bamboo, the boats. There's a lot in it. So yeah. I was thinking that they were working on this small one in the foreground while they're working on a bigger one in the background, and I'm not sure anymore. But I really hope that it is an end update or a portal update, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, Jen Fire, newcomer to the channel, the first time question says, any last minute dad advice or dadvice for your co-host? I think I've given you all the dad advice that's necessary to have. Just love them. That's it really. Don't be too soft on them. I think that's what I'm learning at the moment. I think that's come back to bite me big time.
Don't worry, I won't be. I mean, no.
And try and find incentives rather than punishments. I think incentives work a lot better. So instead of going, you've done that wrong, so I'm taking this away. So you've done that wrong. So if you do this, then you'll get that. And I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, I've already been doing that with fire
good
spawn.
behavior. Yeah. Don't let them spend their entire life like we did just in front of a computer. Get them out. One thing my kids have really missed out on, and Jack's suffering from it now, is the outside world. You know, other things that have gone on, joining clubs, joining social events, going to places. Not like we didn't take him anywhere, but just compared to when I was growing up, we were here, there, and everywhere. I was always at some kid's party. I was always out on my bike or doing something. And my kids, they're like me. They're computer kids. So
they don't remember life before the internet.
Yeah, just do your best to get. And Oliver's different. Oliver does. He loves being outdoors, and he's often, his mum takes him to lots of places, and he does socialize a lot. But Jack's had a different upbringing to him, so he hasn't as much, and that's one of my regrets, is that he hasn't as much, and I think he's regretting that a little bit now as well. So yeah, make sure that they, even if they don't seem to like it, because I never did. I hated social stuff, but I'm glad I did, and I'm glad I was forced into it. So make sure they do. Yeah.
Hmm. Thank you.
Right. Slack, we got another one.
Balrog. Slack, have you tried Mountain Dew in the UK, and how does it compare to the US Mountain Dew? The UK Mountain Dew equivalent described to an American is take a Mountain Dew, take it outside, pour half of it out, fill it back up with water, set it in the sun for 3 weeks, and then take it in and refrigerate it and try to drink it.
That's what the UK one tastes like, is it?
Yes.
I've
Yes.
never had it.
It's bad. It's bad. There is a international grocery store that we go to quite often where I can get the American version of it. So I get those every now and again as a treat. The biggest thing is just the sugar content, like this. Okay. Just your classic everyday run of the mill Pepsi. Over here, this has only got 15 grams of sugar in it, while the American version has over 54.
Wow, jeez.
So,
And that's not even the Pepsi Light.
No, this is just straight up Pepsi. So like Pepsi Max is different, or Pepsi Light. Yeah. So it's quantity of sugar and byproducts in it. It's like in America, you can go to the store and you can buy like Fruit Loops, okay? And you get a lot of Fruit Loops in different colors. Here, there's only like 3 colors because a lot of the dyes are banned. Like in America, you can go get Gatorade. You can go get Gatorade and you can get orange, blue, yellow, green, purple, everything in under the sun, while there's only like 2 over here.
Yeah.
Because the bans on dyes. A lot of the
it makes
meat
you go crackers.
Yeah. A lot of the meat is a lot more lean over here. So I constantly feel like I'm hungry all the time. Since I've been here, I'm down to 275 pounds now. When 6 months ago, when I was at the doctor, I was 230. I think is what it was. So just in the time that I've been here, over the couple months that I've been here, I've done shed another 30 pounds.
Jeez.
And that's doing nothing but just eating. I've learned the biggest thing over here is I feel like I'm hungry all the time. I do. I feel like I'm hungry all the time, but that's because there's so much less byproduct and fillers put in the food.
Yeah. Yeah.
In America, I never feel hungry. If I feel hungry, I can eat just anything and just feel, miserable, just bloated and horrible. While over here, like if I had breakfast in America, if I had the same equivalent food to an English breakfast made in America, I would go into a food coma. I would, because it's loaded. Everything else is loaded. Even your bacons, your sausages, your beans are loaded with so much sugar and byproducts. It's unbelievable. But over here, I can have that same breakfast, and in 30 minutes, I'm hungry again. And I'm talking a full English breakfast.
Jeez.
But if I had half of that in America, I'd feel miserable.
Yeah. It's strange, isn't it? And you got big plates over there. That's what it is. You fill your plates up more. We got little plates here. And
portion size is a big difference. Like even going to like Burger King, for an example.
Yes, tell me about it. I know. Don't go to Taco Bell. You get a pencil instead of taco.
Like you order a large fry, and I'm not even kidding you, a large fry could fit in this Coke can. You order a large fry in America, and it's going in this tube of paper towels. I'm just saying, it's massive.
Yeah,
it's just absolutely crazy.
Oh, jeez.
I won't lie. I miss American food, but I don't want to go back on a just insane American diet when I get back over there.
Oh, it won't be long before you slip back into it. You just be careful.
Yeah, I've got to be. I've got to be. It feels nice losing weight. Like the other day, we were going somewhere. I can't even remember where we were going. And I got up and I put my pants on. And, while I'm in the house, I wear jogging pants or pajamas or stuff like that. But I put on my actual pants and I grabbed my belt and I went to put my belt on. And I pulled my belt and I was like, that's a problem. I don't have enough hose on my belt.
It's a nice problem.
I've never had that problem before. Usually it's the
nice
other way around.
Yeah, run out of belt.
Yeah, run out of belt. But there's a lot of things. Like, how we had that first podcast, that bonus show of just differences. Now that I've been over here for a few months, I could talk about it for hours, the differences. It's crazy. A lot.
Jeez. Yeah. No, we'll have to come over there and start moaning about how we can't eat anything. The portions are too big. Or come over to the States for a month and put on 30 pounds.
What is barbecue? You all don't know what barbecue is neither, I swear. There's
Your
no such thing.
barbecue's not barbecue.
Your barbecue's not barbecue. And
food.
why can you all not have a food that comes in a single thing? If I want to go get a cup of ramen noodles, why can't I just get a cup of chicken ramen noodles or beef ramen noodles? Why does it got to be prawn and cocktails? Or why does it got to be chicken and yogurt? It's like everything's got to come in combos. You can't go to the store and just get plain crisps. You have to get
chicken super noodles. You can't get plain crisps.
No, you can't. Nothing exists. T-bone steak or, cheese and onion. It's just, what? Where's just your classic,
Do you know one of my biggest gripes with going to restaurants is that, like, you go to somewhere that's semi-decent and you look at the menu and you're like, what's this? What is all this faff? Why, there's 47 words on this beans on toast that I don't know what they are. Just why? Stop trying to be fancy and give me food that I like. Like, just I go to a restaurant and I see pie and chips, I'm in. Fish and chips, I'm in. Or lasagna, bolognese, meatball, any of those things, great. But when it's got little fiddly on this and twiddly on that,
yeah. I can relate.
And you know it's going to come in the tiniest little portion and there's like little bit of sprinkling of sauce all over it. You say, no, go away. I don't want food to look nice. I want it to taste nice.
Yeah, and then they put that salad on the side. Yeah, it's like, what is this? This looks like something that I just pulled out of the yard and threw into the bin,
The salad on the side of your plate looks better than my garden half the time. Jeez. Oh, man. Oh, okay. Right. Well, let's move on to the very last question then from JF Bird Blues, just thrown it in last minute and said, mine's more of a fun question. Anyway, we could get an easier way of making dyes for banner making. How is dyes a hard thing to make, JF Bird Blue?
There's dye farms out there. I'm so confused, Bird. It's not a hard thing to get.
Yeah, dyes are really easy. And to craft a dye, you literally put flour in, get dye out.
Yeah, you don't even need a crafting table.
Yeah. I don't understand. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm being harsh now. We just had that laugh and a joke, and I don't understand what's making you struggle so much with dyes. It'd be nice if dyes were more consistent. If there was just like, why are some dyes harder than others? Why do some you have to smell? Why do some only come from like really rare things? Like, why is white dye in such abundance, but black dye is like you've got to sell your grandma to get it? Like lapis, blue dye was really hard to get, and then we're like, no, you can have a cornflower now.
Yeah.
Like, well, okay, well, give me a black flower, give me a green flower, give me a.
Okay, I can agree with Bird on that. If you look in chat, I have to smell cactus get green.
Yeah. Why?
I can agree on that one. No.
Petition to get black dye from coal, says Dutch. Yeah, that would make sense.
Nope.
Yeah. Why isn't this not in the good ideas bin? Jeez.
Yeah, you could have put that in the good idea bin instead of a last minute question.
Yeah, why did you go back in time, JF Bird Blue?
Come on, just here and eat my pizza, Bird.
Oh man, I want pizza now. Jeez, stop it. Right, on that note, peeps, unfortunately, we have reached the end of the podcast, which means I've got a few things to tell you. The first one is that if you want to ask a question, you can do by emailing us at news@minecraftupdate.com, filling in the feedback form on the website, or joining our Discord. I need to remind you that we are supported by patrons, so if you want to help support us, you can go to patreon.com/the Minecraft Update. And don't forget, we're not going to steal your money. If we don't do a podcast, you don't get charged. It's only per podcast, and you get all those amazing things.
Indeed.
Slack, what are you doing this week?
Only thing, baby watch and just streams. I'm recording some video stuff, but I fully don't expect any videos out over the next few weeks at all.
Fair enough. Well, I have 2 Truly Bedrock videos going out this week. I have my 2 videos a day Duck Shot videos going out. I am trying to stream, but that is going to be totally out the window now with my new schedule, with having to basically I'm going to be ferrying Jack back and forwards to his college over the next few weeks again every day. So I don't know what's going to happen with that, but I'm going to do my best. Don't forget, peeps, if you would like to get in touch, you can by emailing us news@theminecraftupdate.com, filling out the feedback form, or joining our Discord. Thank you very much, everybody in the live show, for listening. Thank you very much, Slack, for being a wonderful co-host, and the best of luck. I'm assuming by next podcast you'll probably have a baby.
One would hope. You plan on giving that thing up by then? Oh, okay.
I guess all that's left to say is the same thing I say at the end of every podcast, and that's if you're wearing 17 pairs of knickers to keep your baby in so you can keep getting attention from Slack, then maybe just consider how much attention you'll get when he's up at, in the middle of the night, and baby's woke up, and he's nudging you gently to say, "It's your turn, dear. It's your turn."
Look, she's already tried to wake me up in the middle of the night to change the baby. And the baby's not even here yet. That's it. You're not getting no more grilled food until baby's around.
Right. Thank you all very much for listening. We'll see you all in the next one.
Goodbye.